Welcome to Takeover, the most underrated sports debate show on YouTube. And before we start this, guys, make sure you guys like and subscribe on the video so we can keep giving you out that good content. And we love this show here on Takeover because we're the type of team to win a championship the following year, have a Heisman winner the year before, and we're going to play over 500. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand where I'm coming from, Josh?
Not really, because I'm a Georgia Tech fan. We don't really have Heisman Trophy winners, let alone title winners.
Yeah.
But I get the point you're trying to make.
Exactly.
You're consistent.
This is what consistency. That's why I love this team.
You stay on the peak. You don't peak and then.
And our coach speaks English. Thank you. Go ahead, guys.
As you know, my name is Josh.
My name is Deandra.
My name is Kim, and this is Takeover.
Yeah, we play it all in night. Yeah, need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind out the muscle, pull up. Poker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Not that holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like Dutch, don't even matter, you know I'm a face. And when I roll a paper, I like to go double. Run up a check, flip a W, make it.
So Lamar Jackson and the Baltimore Ravens were defeated Sunday by the Pittsburgh Steelers. It was a relatively close game on the scoreboard, but on the field, if we're being honest, the Pittsburgh Steelers completely outplayed the Baltimore Ravens. Both of these teams will probably make the playoffs because they both played very well. The Ravens, they're still 5-2. Once we get to the postseason, are we going to be able to truly trust Lamar Jackson?
So Lamar Jackson is a great player, obviously. He's the MVP, reigning MVP for a reason. But what this game proved to me, it exposed that in order to beat the Baltimore Ravens, all you have to do is make Lamar Jackson throw the ball. If you look at what the Ravens did, they rushed for 265 yards, and the defense held Pittsburgh to a half without a touchdown. So this lets me know that the Ravens team can show up against bigger competition, that they are physical, and that they can get the tougher wins. But not with Lamar Jackson throwing 2 unexcusable interceptions. And this shows that when teams are evenly matched, Lamar just doesn't show up when the light shines the brightest. And I had them picked to be that team that could beat the Chiefs and that had the opportunity to go to the Super Bowl. But I don't think they'll be able to go there, let alone win it, if Lamar Jackson does not get away from his ability to just scramble, and he needs to work on his ability of throwing the ball.
I personally love Lamar Jackson. I think he's probably one of the best athletes in the NFL. But we find ourselves asking the same question as we did on his draft night. You're spectacular running the ball, but can you actually throw? And what the Pittsburgh Steelers showed us is that he can't. They lined up in a bunch of 4-3 and 3-4 formations and ended up loading the box versus the Ravens. And he just couldn't get the ball where he needed to be. And they cut off a lot of those shallow routes. They played really tight, and they said if you can't throw over 15 plus yards, you're not gonna be able to beat us. And he's done this repeatedly where he's not shown up. You look at what he did versus the Chiefs. He only threw 53% and had under 100 yards. And he had a very pedestrian performance versus the Cincinnati Bengals. Who were they? He only threw 51% against them. And then versus the Steelers, he threw 46%. He's got to play better in these big-time moments. And honestly, I like Lamar so much that he reminds me of one of my favorite players in the NBA. My favorite player in the NBA is Russell Westbrook. I compare him to Lamar Jackson because, the thing is about...
I didn't.
You didn't know that? You guys didn't know that?
No, you never talk about it.
That's
ever.
crazy. That's crazy. I
There's not a poster in your room somewhere.
I know, right? I compare him to Lamar because we all know Russ's Achilles heel is shooting the ball. He can do everything else, but when you look at the shooting, that's where the defense can kind of play off of him. Lamar's Achilles heel is throwing the ball. He can do everything else that you need to do on offense. When it comes to throwing, there's a way to guard that, and they're just taking advantage of his weakness. And the last point I'm going to make is, there's problems when Hollywood Brown is quoting Rico from Paid in Full. What's the point of having soldiers when you never use them? That's how far we're going right here. He's quoting Rico. You don't see Tyreek Hill saying that about Patrick Mahomes.
Because Tyreek Hill is playing with arguably the most talented quarterback ever.
Exactly.
But I think, can we trust Lamar in the playoffs this season?
Can't trust.
No, not at all. But I think we need to chill. We're making it sound like he's a finished product. We're making it sound like he can't throw. Not right now, but you guys got to remember, this kid is 23 years old. All right, he's only got 3 years on us. or at least me, anyway. He's only been in the NFL for 3 seasons, and coming out of college, the reason he dropped to 32, everybody loves to make fun of everybody now. The reason he dropped to 32 was people had legitimate questions about if he could throw the ball. Everybody knew he had an arm, but they were wondering how is he going to fit into an NFL scheme where he's got to make all those tough reads. And we're seeing right now, he's got room to grow. But I also don't think it's all on him. I think that the Baltimore Ravens wide receiving core specifically is the reason why he is struggling to an extent. I don't think it's all of them, because they do have talent, but I think it's partially. Here's why. They have Marquise Brown, who's 5'9". Willie Snead is 5'11". Devin Duvernay is 5'10". So all these receivers that they have are small. They're all deep threats, more or less, and they're all more slot guys. They don't have that big-bodied receiver that a lot of wide receivers or what a lot of quarterbacks like to use. They have Mark Andrews, who's a great tight end, but they also need that big-bodied receiver. They have Miles Boykin, who's 6'4", but he's only got a 59% catch rate, and he's more of a short yard guy because he only averages like 7 yards a catch or whatever. So I think part of it is the way that they have constructed this team.
But to oppose that, I would ask, if he had that big receiver, would he be able to make those throws consistently?
It's a fair question.
Deep to that person? Because honestly, when you look at the Ravens scheme, it's so many short passes, because that's what they are. They run shallow routes. They make it really easy on Lamar Jackson to throw a lot of these routes. That's why the Steelers exposed them in the second half, because they was taking away the routes and said, if you want to throw deep, and that's why they got exposed lately, the Steelers. He was able to throw the ball 30 yards downfield because they were leaving open.
For sure.
Look, you have a man-to-man coverage. Can he make those throws down the field?
It's a fair question, and like I said, he has plenty of room to grow, and he needs to grow in that respect. But even if he did grow, and even if he was able to make those throws, I don't think they have the receivers to be able to make those catches. Because especially with these small guys, they're either great at short routes where they can use their quickness, or they're great at deep routes where they can just outrun people. They need that big body guy to run a 15-yard in route and body up a safety and just box him out and catch a ball.
All right.
You know, I think that that's what they're missing right now. So it's a little column A, little column B. You feel me?
It should be solid. Maybe.
He'll be fine. Once he figures out how to throw.
You gotta
Once he
throw,
figures
though.
out
You
how to
gotta
throw,
throw.
I'm sure he'll go to multiple Pro Bowls.
So the 76ers have hired Daryl Morey to take over operations, and judging off of what he did with the Houston Rockets, do you guys think that he will be successful with the 76ers?
Will he be successful?
Mm-hmm.
It's a fair question. First of all, it's the NBA, so there's nothing for certain. We don't know. I do know exactly what he's going to do to try to make this team more successful, and this might be breaking news to some people. He's probably going to go trade for some shooting, because the 76ers can't shoot. They have 2 people coming back this year that were over 40% from 3 last year. Shake Milton and Furkan Korkmaz. Exactly. They had Alec Burks, but he's a free agent, and who knows if he'll come back because he kind of atoned himself pretty well. Al Horford only shot 35%. Tobias Harris was around 34, 35. Ben Simmons refuses to shoot, and Embiid shoots too much. So he's definitely going to get more shooting. I also think one of Tobias Harris and one of Al Horford will be gone. Maybe both. They have to, because they don't have any money. Tobias Harris is on a 5-year, $180 million deal, and Horford's on a 4-year, $109. And that, coupled with the massive deals that Simmons and Embiid have, they don't have any money to spend on the free agent market. So the only way they're really going to get a shooter is if they trade. Now, I know I've seen a lot of people. I've seen this theory floated that he's going to trade Ben Simmons. I don't think he trades Ben Simmons. There's no way. I don't see a reason.
Yeah.
Because in the NBA, talent wins over everything. And they have arguably 2 guys that should be top 20 in the NBA in terms of their skill level. So I think he holds on to them. And plus, also, Elton Brand still does have a job. And he refused to trade these guys last year, and he said before that he doesn't want to trade them. So I don't know how the power structure works, but I don't think that either of them are gone. I think if he gets more shooting, I think the Sixers have a chance to be better, but who knows, man? Simmons and Embiid got to figure out that wonky fit.
I think this is a great move for Philly, knowing what Daryl Morey can do. But I think this is us really waving by to Joel Embiid. I feel like if Simmons wants to get the most production, I don't feel like Embiid can really be on the court. And I think Milwaukee is going to end up coming in the 76ers land, because I feel like they're going to try to develop Ben Simmons into that more Giannis build, where he can kick the ball out, he can be aggressive on offense, and he's going to play great defense. And, back to the contracts you said, Tobias Harris, Al Horford, those are big contracts, and those players really haven't been playing up to their potential at all. And I think one of those guys has to go, and I think they have to surround him with shooters for this to be a better team. You look at the 76ers in the playoffs, they shot the lowest out of any team in the playoffs, and it just wasn't getting done. I think guys like Josh Richardson, Al Horford are probably going to be shipped off, and, I feel like what Daryl Morey is going to do is he's going to surround Ben Simmons with shooters.
Okay, before I do my take,
Where's the on Whiteside?
I'm gonna scoot back a little bit,
Okay.
and you just kind of like scoot over because that's all you like.
All right.
Okay. My bad. My bad. I just didn't. I just couldn't saw him going out, and I didn't want him to stay that way.
It's okay.
All right. I think this is a wait and see type of situation where everything that the Philadelphia 76ers have been going through, especially in the past couple of years. But I do think that Daryl Morey is a great move for the 76ers because he's more concerned with making the team better instead of hoping to be better. As you saw what he did with Chris Paul and Westbrook. He's one of those people who is very involved not only on the roster, but he's also involved on the court and in the game. And he's known for landing stars like James Harden when he was the Sixth Man of the Year. If I was Daryl Morey, I would look to replicate the 2018-2019 team with J.J. Redick as their shooter and Jimmy Butler as their shot creator, because when you look at what they did, they almost beat the Raptors, who went on to win the NBA Finals. And Ben Simmons, his rookie year, he made it to the second round of the playoffs. And when you look at this past year, they got swept. And although Ben Simmons was injured, they still were struggling prior to that. And the key points that I think that Morey will have to do as he takes on this job, I think he will have to create flexibility with what you have and choose someone to build around, whether it be Joel Embiid or Ben Simmons. Over the next 3 seasons, Ben Simmons will have 35 to 36 million. Tobias Harris has 37 to 38 million. Joel Embiid has 34 to 35 million, and Al Horford has 27 to 28 million. You have to get rid of at least one of these players, of which you guys stated I think should be Joel Embiid. And he's known for making those, for trading picks. And Philly has some picks to move, so I believe that should be the move to make. But I do think this is a good move for Philly.
Elton Brand's decision to choose Tobias Harris over Jimmy Butler looks worse.
Oh yeah, I mean it looked bad. It looked bad at the time.
It looks worse and worse.
It looks
now.
terrible now because he paid $40 million extra dollars.
Yeah.
For this.
Someone who wasn't even an all-star.
But I want to offer brief pushback
Okay.
on what you guys said. I don't think that he has to trade Simmons or Embiid because I think if we've seen with one thing with Daryl Morey in Houston, talent. Like I said, talent trumps everything. He traded for Russell Westbrook knowing that he didn't exactly fit the system and knowing that he wouldn't exactly fit the team great.
Right.
If he has a chance to have a great player, he's going to do everything he can to keep it. And he already has 2 great players. And while their fit is wonky, 100%, I think he's going to do everything he can to find a way to make that work. Now, if he does have to trade one of them, he will. If he thinks he's getting a better player in return.
Yeah.
So, if it becomes available, I'm sure... Lost my train of thought. I don't think he trades either of them anytime soon because I think that they're too talented to truly let go.
I just feel like if Simmons has just basically declared he won't shoot, I feel like he can fill the spot that Embiid is putting on, personally. And you put someone else at the point guard position and maybe put Simmons at power forward and run your offense that way. But if you have Embiid there, both of them can't be on a block at the same time. There's too much collision there. So I think you should rather just keep Simmons and let it just run and gun it. I mean, but Daryl Morey, he'll find a way. He found a way to run an offense through Yao Ming. I am 100% sure that,
we don't need no Yao Ming slander here.
No, I'm not saying. I'm just saying. He's able to do it.
I want to reiterate something that you said at the beginning. I want you guys to like. I want you guys to comment. I want you guys to subscribe. Because if you guys don't subscribe, then what are we doing this for? Why are we here? I mean, if we don't have people that are subscribing to watch our shows, what are we doing?
We did that LSU slander on purpose. See y'all in 3 weeks.
Whatever.
All right.
Yeah, we play it all in night. Yeah, need it all in advance. The opposition know we're ready for it. Like a supper we eating, it won't be the last. Grind out the muscle, pull up. Parker right on the grass. We coming in, take over everything, run it up. Not that holding me back. 3 in the wood, rushing. I don't like